Since the 1950s, Stratford has been known as a quaint little tourist town with a Shakespearean theater on the banks of the Avon River, located in beautiful farmland about 90 minutes away from Canada's largest city, Toronto. Stratford is a city that has, for many, many years, searched for lasting competitiveness. It is located in Ontario's major agricultural belt, so it grows winter wheat very successfully for a global market. But of course, agriculture produces some wealth, doesn't produce much in the way of jobs or job growth. It has a light industrial economy that has cycled repeatedly through boom and bust cycles, locomotive repairs and maintenance a long time ago, furniture manufacturing, automotive parts manufacturing, which it still does today. And it has a Shakespeare festival there on the banks of the Avon River in Stratford. It was founded in 1953 as an economic development Hail Mary that proved very successful, and it has become the city's largest employer. So you have an agricultural economy, which does create wealth but little employment. You have an industrial economy subject to market changes beyond the city's control. And you have the Shakespeare Festival, which provides a foundation for a tourist economy, but only seasonal impact and employment. So you're still lacking that lasting competitiveness source that they want so much. So they want to create new economic drivers that leverage digital growth year-round. They need to attract and retain new talent with educational qualifications to do that. And basically, they're trying to build that self-sustaining innovation ecosystem to maintain this new competitiveness over time. Well, they were lucky in their leaders. They elected an entrepreneurial business leader as mayor back in 2003, who retired only after about 20 years in office, and he brought a completely new vision to economic development. One of his creations was something called Rhizome Networks, the city-owned utility, which is what's called a hydro in Ontario, created a network company to deploy and manage a dark fiber network, initially for its own reason, for its own purposes, and then, of course, for lease to other organizations. That network was critical in attracting the IT divisions of two major banks and two data centers to Stratford, taking advantage of its lower costs, taking advantage of its lifestyle, and yet also taking advantage of its connectivity, which also powered growth for the Shakespeare Festival. That is an international business. It sells tickets to people all around the world. That city-owned Wi-Fi network was built on top of that Rhizome network, using it as a middle mile. And partnerships with private carriers eventually led to them rolling out residential fiber to the premise service, again, because this existing middle mile network was already there to cover a lot of their costs. It took 10 years of very creative deal-making before Stratford was able to attract the University of Waterloo, one of Canada's greatest technology universities, to build a satellite campus there devoted to digital media. Now, that deal originated with the discovery by the government of Stratford that the University of Waterloo really wanted to move into digital media. It was a growth area, but they lacked a content partner. They didn't have what they needed there in Waterloo. And so, of course, Stratford is able to say, well, we have a content partner. It's called the Shakespeare Festival here. And so fundraising brought local, provincial, and federal funds together to construct a downtown campus. It opened in 2012 with a global business and digital arts degree program and a master's program in digital experience. And it brought hundreds of young people to Stratford as commuters and residents, creating an immediate economic impact, plus a longer tail of more important impacts. The city created this Stratford Accelerator Center in 2013 in a building that was donated by a local business owner. And their whole purpose, of course, was to provide facilities, advisory services, and introductions to students who were graduating from that digital media program. It became a foundation for a local innovation ecosystem. But in 2014, the decision was made to move that to University of Waterloo. Why? Well, because Stratford was really too small a place to provide the kind of services and the kind of opportunities that were available in Waterloo. But nonetheless, the connections weren't lost. There was nothing lost there. because the digital media students and graduates could continue to leverage the Shakespeare Festival while also dealing with Waterloo's larger scale and longer established innovation ecosystem. So you basically have successfully imported the University of Waterloo's and the city of Waterloo's innovation ecosystem into Stratford through that digital media campus. And the results, quite frankly, have been impressive. They did indeed create digital services to drive economic growth. This is a thing that I think every tourist economy should be doing. They created an app phone app that assembled all of its tourism assets, which are mostly small businesses, into one easy to use online booking platform. Not a particularly expensive things to do, a little time consuming to bring all those partners together. But now you have a point and click access to to beds and breakfast, hotels, restaurants, theater tickets, all the things you can do as a tourist in Stratford, all in one easy place to find. Public investments of 1.8 million Canadian dollars in an industrial park produced some $80 million in direct and indirect impact, including $20 million in wage income. Again, as Stratford becomes an entrepreneurship center, a digital hub, digital media campus, now you have a different kind of investment profile to show to potential companies that want to come in and do something there. Stratford Festival won something called an HD project to digitize all of its theater performances. That was a $3 million federal investment in the community. And all of this led to something that's intangible and yet incredibly powerful. The transformation of Stratford from just a quaint little place down the road where you can go, have dinner and see a show, or maybe, tour it for a few days, into a center of digital media innovation in Ontario. That is a remarkable transformation made possible in this city of some 30,000 people by that mayor and the many initiatives they put in place. So look at what they created. Stratford government was absolutely the leader and driver in this. But they had a municipal utility to go to work for them. They, through a lot of hard effort, managed to work with the University of Waterloo, some distance away, and they had that Shakespeare Festival as another partner. They created the elements of their innovation ecosystem, that dark fiber network, attracting the IT and data centers, the digital media campus, an Accelerator center, which ultimately moved its location to Waterloo, but continued to thrive because of the digital media campus. And that Shakespeare Festival, it could take all of these assets and begin to turn them to much greater use to extend their season, if not around the year, certainly for many, many more months. And again, what do you get out of that? You get the startups, you get the revenue and employment growth, you get the reinvestment, and you get investment attraction at a level that Stratford in its original days, 20 years ago, could never have imagined.